So you never know how difficult it is to film a video or to make one of these videos until you've been interrupted like 3, 4 times. So, uh, wait for it, wait for it. Okay, we might be good. I gotta be quick. All right, you know who I am. I know who you are. Thanks for joining. Thanks for stopping by. So, real quick, no videos, no live streams, no futures, no forex, no currency, no nothing last week. So I apologize for that. Emergency situation is kind of sorting itself out. So thanks for everybody that reached out. Everybody's doing okay. Hopefully this week will be a little bit back to normal. Not 100%. Still got some other things going on, and just have to remodify. But yeah, everybody's out of the hospital back. So we're doing all right. That out of the way. Spoiler alert. This past Tuesday, I believe it was Tuesday. Um, yeah, my 50. I literally, and it was inadvertent because typically I don't trade from my phone. I thought that at some point, just based on what I was working on the previous week, I developed a good enough understanding that we were going to be able to take certain positions that just did not work out. And it was actually on Wednesday that this occurred. It was Wednesday morning where I got shredded in a matter of minutes and I didn't realize it. But I'm not going to blame it on my phone. I'm just going to blame it on the fact that my RR, excuse me, or my negative R was in place. It was I want to say it was the only trade that I was going to take, but I tried to go back in and take, I believe it was like a macro ES, where basically it's like $5 instead of um, a quarter of a point for the S&P for the mini with the one contract. Again, long and short, 50K set fire to. So that being the case, we'll be playing out the rest of this month, just in a practice and a demo, just refining what we've already been doing, and just working to get better. And then we'll be back into another combine starting in March. So that's just the full transparency aspect of me. I'm not going to sit here and BS you and say, oh, well, we took a loss and everything's fine and I've got this again. No, 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 no. 50K set fire to on the subject of accounts and fire sale and all the rest of that. So as any or many of you know, just within the funded space and challenge space, I did also have, and I don't know exactly what will become of that, but I still have a Lux account, a Lux trading account. So that account is in good standing. It's fine. It's in profit. We're good there. I was working a funded engineer challenge, and since they've had their medical's license suspended, revoked, taken, whatever, um, I know as of today they'd spoken about being able to migrate and integrate a lot of things over. So they were saying that by Tuesday, I believe it was by Tuesday of this coming week, that everything should be back up on their internal platform, because they have their own structure in which they were going to continue to operate, and they were already working on that in the interim anyway. So I'm gonna still look to see if that account remains. That was another account, and that's primarily like my currency account. What else do I want to tell you guys? Lots been going on. There is a Samuel and Co. 100K challenge that I've also kind of signed up to. So not really. I don't think I'm spreading myself too thin. I look at it from the perspective of I initially said, listen, I'm only trading futures and one currency market. So even within that challenge, I'm still legitimately only looking at one currency market, which is cable. It's going to be GBP USD. So I don't really see a whole lot of difference there. But basically, I had gone through Samuel and Co. Challenge. I want to say 2 years ago, maybe, and I did okay 2 years ago when I didn't really know like what the hell I was doing, but I did okay to the point where when it was over, I was in profit. I was profitable. Was not one of the top four. The top four in that trading challenge get, I believe it's 100K. What is it? 100K, a 50K, and I think two 25K accounts is how that works, or a 25K and a 15K, something like that. But they all basically they get live accounts to trade. Everybody else that's profitable. Some people get invitations to come into the Samuel and Co. Family. I was one of the people that was profitable that was allowed to come into the Samuel and Co. fold because I was profitable at that time. But what I ended up doing was I stopped. I didn't get kicked out. I didn't get booted out. I didn't, get um, told, come back when you're profitable. What I did was I removed myself from the fold because I realized that I wasn't profitable long term. And a lot of my in and out positioning was very it wasn't set, it wasn't mechanical, it was just kind of willy nilly, and it was what felt good. It wasn't time based, it wasn't based upon a specific level, it was just random. So I stopped that, went and got some more education, and just kind of built myself back up from there. But the long and the short of that narrative is I will also be with this upcoming week with futures and kind of just refining same sort of a process with that. I'll still be working through like ES, maybe looking at some NASDAQ. I was doing some back testing with that yesterday and earlier this morning, but I think I'm probably going to just stick with S&P. Only reason I did Nasdaq is because I didn't have anything marked up on those charts. So just to kind of go back and do some back testing. But yeah, so we'll be back on ES, just forward testing, doing some tape reading, just trying to understand and then revise and jump back in March. You know, full steam ahead and just ready to do the right thing. Um, like I said, funded engineer, we'll see what goes on with that. And then Samuel and Co. That's a 2 week trading challenge this upcoming week and then next week. So feeling pretty good about that. Excited about it, but it's kind of like because understanding and knowing what you're looking for, what you're wanting to get done. So all of that out of the way. That's instead of me having links, advertisements, sponsors, and all of that. That was just me. So that's like a recap of everything. So let's recap last week's trading and where it all went awry. So yeah, again, Monday we weren't looking to do anything. Just let Monday consolidate. There was this move down back into Friday close, which again, hindsight being what it is, this move might have been indicative of what was to come, but that's another video for another time. But just looking at this structure, right? All that would have had to happen was, hey, what's your structure going into next week? What is this impulse? The impulse, the swing low to the swing high, and this is screaming. Again, hindsight, and I realize it. It's screaming discount. Okay, screaming discount. That's not what I did. I went in with a totally different mindset. Like, we're just gonna treat this week as this week, and take the mitigations and the liquidity sweeps and the inefficiencies as they came. I looked at what this was, but just did not consider it. So I will say that at the outset. So I was just looking at basically liquidity, this rundown, consolidated. Tuesday was the same thing, kind of consolidated in. Didn't really do much. Wednesday morning is where I kind of got myself in trouble. Okay? So this is actually Tuesday night, but Tuesday into Asia, Tuesday swept Monday. This is where I sat on my hands. I didn't see this Tuesday night. And also that time Tuesday night, I don't think that I was in the hospital, so I could ultimately say like the last thing I was really thinking about was if a higher low got swept at Asia, right? I wasn't thinking about that. I did see it later on, but my thought process when I did see it was, okay, it took out the buy side from Monday and technically earlier Tuesday, so this was the high for Tuesday. That should have been the thing, right? But it wasn't. So I initially took this as, okay, there's a probability that maybe we'll get back down here, or at the very least, this higher ranged consolidation in here, maybe we'll just break the low, right? We'll come back down here. So as Wednesday morning approached and we get into the 4:30 hour, and it really wasn't 4:30, it was more like I want to say it might have been the AM silver bullet. No, this is all manipulation. Manipulation. Yeah. So I didn't make it to the silver bullet. So I was in here looking and saying to myself, okay, so listen, Linda, if this continues short for whatever reason, and I can't looking at this now because, like I said, I was on my phone, never doing that again, never doing that again. I took a loss, but my loss was set with, the parameters of my negative R, which was basically I'm putting in a 12 handle stop loss and a 10 handle take profit. And I walked away. I set it up. I took the market order and I walked away, taking care of what needed to be taken care of there, and came back. I can't even remember what time it was. I know I tried to check between 9 and 10. It didn't really work out, but that's 100% on me because my focus, as soon as that was put on, I could say the one positive thing is I didn't bitch, gripe, or complain even after realizing that loss cost me my combine account. I had basically hit my daily loss limit I'm sorry, my threshold limit for the account. It wasn't daily loss. The account couldn't have gone below like 49 and 49.65 or whatever it was, but 49,000 whatever that amount was. That 12 handle stop took that limit away. It basically breached the limit, so I breached the account, breached the combine. So we're starting again, like I said, starting from scratch. March, but the remainder of this month, I'm actually just going to continue to trade that account and, try to correct those deficiencies. So that was that. But even looking back again to the previous week, and this is one of the things that going into this week, I'm actually going to try to implement and try to do. Let me finish here on Wednesday. So we basically see we got the move up on Wednesday. But essentially, the only thing that was taken within this week were essentially like the highs. So Monday high taken. This is essentially going to be Tuesday's high, which is an Asia session. So you can say, well, it wasn't during regular trade hours, and that's fine. But Tuesday's high is Tuesday's high. It doesn't matter, right? So we traded back into a consolidation, and then impulsed up into the 9 a.m. hour, and then created this fair value gap, which basically popped the top on Friday's high. And if you go back and you look, I'm just scrolling back over, this was Friday's high. So for context, and I'm going to do it here, because this is one of the lessons, and I just kind of want to put this in. So basically, these videos I post for a couple of reasons. One, to show that I am not like some super stellar trader that never loses. I like to think that my channel at some point will be more for the reasonable trader, the newer trader that says, I see all of these gurus on and say, hey, they would have taken this and they got stopped out at break even. No, I'm going to tell you, if I lost the trade, if I blew the account, if whatever it is, like, I'm going to tell you, you're going to see it, right? You're going to see it. So here we go back to, and this, just disregard, the only thing you need to be worried about is this zero level here, and this is my fib level low. It doesn't matter how you draw it because I'm looking at a premium discount range. So if I look at this range from Friday and Friday alone, okay, Friday we're closing in a premium. So Monday open, we're still in a premium. Monday's still in a premium. Monday morning, we dip into a discount all the way down to, oh, look at that level. That's a 79. But I didn't look at it that way because, like I said, I went into this week just treating it from a little bit of a different context and a different type of analysis, like every day to see, okay, when's the low going to form? Here's the other thing that I also learned. Even if I went into it with just like a standard weekly bias, this still would have been my low for the week. So theoretically, if I was going to take a position, I could have very well waited until 10:45 Monday morning and said, two things at this point are correct. Okay? And again, I realize this is hindsight, but sometimes the hindsight helps since we're on a Saturday, tomorrow Sunday, we're going into another week. And it's another opportunity to see, does this same type of situation occur again? Does it happen? Is it slightly different? What's going to be the context behind it? But it may help, especially if EA continues to run long. So the idea is typically you would expect a low on any given week for any particular asset maybe to form Tuesday or Wednesday. It's more of a higher probability if it forms Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the context, what the market's been doing, any sentiment or whatever else has been trying to drive those narratives, right? So sometimes the low will form on Monday, but a lot of times, Monday might be. I don't like using the word trap. I just say like Monday sometimes is like the setup day, okay, where you get a short term run and it'll run that Monday low, either later Monday or Tuesday. Okay, so if I was looking at it from a weekly standpoint, I could have simply said, okay, if I took basically the fib number, when the fib hit 79, I could have said, okay, I'm just going to trade this back long. I put my stop below the Friday fib swing low, and then we'll just target basically the high. I probably would have been all right with ES, not just for the day, but essentially for the week. Because at that standpoint, any trade I wanted to get back into, which again should have been time-based, any time-based trade, I literally could have just said, okay, where's the low or what's it going to run if it ran any of these days here on Tuesday. I could have used my 79 level, get a little bit closer and say, okay, I'm still targeting this level. Thursday would have been no different. Thursday just probably would have been a little bit tighter, but I would have, trailed my stops up here and said, hey, look, if I get stopped out, I understand. But again, the overall context for the week, take out that Friday high. Once Friday high was taken out on Thursday, I could have just been done. So again, it's hindsight. Again, anything can happen. Don't know what happens, whatever. But that being the scenario, that being the case, we can actually do one of these numbers because I've already marked this out. So this would be, that's Thursday. That's my Friday low. But we could essentially do it from Thursday because essentially that's what it is. So same sort of deal. But I said that's my buy side. So here's what's interesting about how Friday finished. There was a slight pullback on Friday, okay? But it is clearly in a premium. Clearly premium. My relative equal highs now rest in a place at this 79 level. So these equal highs have already been taken out. So this technically can come off the board. Or actually, let me, I can take that off. Let's just take that off. Because that's been cleared. But what's ironic and interesting about that area is that's my 79 level. It may not come back there. It may not come back into the 79. However, a greater context would be placed if we get some level of displacement here for the week upcoming, and maybe just trade it back to equilibrium if there's an opportunity that presents itself. On the 15th, let me just lock this down real quick. Let's look in here and see. And actually, we've got a BISI or a buy-side, sell-side inefficient delivery, which is here. We do have, there may be a small, yeah, that's a very, very small fair value gap in here. Very small. But that price is paired there. So really, it's just this BISI that's back here right now. We don't really have any value gaps, no inefficiencies. However, this is going to be considered a swing low. That is a swing high. So this range could actually be a little bit more confined from the 9:30 a.m. open to basically 2:45 Friday afternoon. I wouldn't want to be that level of concise or precise, if you will, but it is totally possible to trade these two separately, because this would have given essentially probably like an optimal trade entry all the way up. So yeah, we could possibly use that as well. But there and again lies again just the idea and the context that either way, either one of these ranges moved or used is going to constitute, unless I'll show you here, it's still going to constitute some level of premium level. So it's still clearly in a premium. If I do it this way, this will allow basically a 79 if it decides and if it does trade back in. You've got relative equal lows here, which makes sense. This is a low, so there's going to be a sufficient amount of sell-side liquidity that will rest below this and run right back into a pool of liquidity that is sitting below this consolidation area and these lows back here, which is Thursday into Friday morning. So again, my initial draw for this week coming up is not necessarily going to be this buy side. Like I said, it's still forming this range, so this could be swept out Sunday, possible. Don't know yet. But it could easily sweep this high and trade back short. But we'll have to see. But again, that's going to be my bias for this upcoming week. So that's going to wrap this one up. Any comments, concerns? Sean, I still have your Euro USD to stream, so we'll do that. Futures, I might do something maybe a little different tomorrow, because we are just kind of practicing some things out. We may just stream futures and commodities open for maybe a couple of hours tomorrow night. As you well know, like the market does open at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So obviously not necessarily taking positions, but maybe just looking and seeing how the market open as it relates to going into Asia. Like what happens in this market? I don't really anticipate too much movement. As you can see, what was happening with Asia during the week, we were getting a pretty standard range, but just a little something different. Maybe even look for. Well, I don't really like to do that off of my time-based trading sessions. I was going to say we might be able to look at Fiber or Euro USD during that time, but market open Sunday is not really a good thing. So before we get out of here, I would just simply say, and you can back test this. This is not necessarily something that I do, as you can see, and ended up barbecue chicken again this week on Wednesday, but just test out, the weekly bias for your market, whatever that is. If it's currencies, if it's futures, if it's indexes, whatever it is. Just check out that concept and that idea of maybe when the low forms on a week. This week, I might actually consider, since I'm in a practice environment, let's see what low gets set come Monday, and based upon that, see how the rest of the week develops and pans out. Because again, it can be the low if price is bullish, it can be the high if the price is bearish. So in this context, that's why I said I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if buy side liquidity gets swept and taken out, which would promote a run short. Especially since we saw that run back and forth, but the run higher on Friday, a pretty sharp retracement before continuation to set another high before a pullback and into consolidation at the end of the day. So, like I said, maybe a short term rally high to take that high out to then maybe manipulate or to trap buyers. Who's to say? Don't know. That would, that's just kind of like the underlying tone when I'm looking at the market. Like that's the optimal way to trap buyers because the prices continue to go up. There's really not been any reason for anyone to say, okay, that's it. But I don't know. I'm not going to say that I'm itching to sell. I'm also not going to say that it's overextended, so it has to. I'm just simply looking at them. I'm trying to understand what would be the manipulative factors that would allow it to continue to go long. Now we're in a place where it would be almost I don't know. If I'll just say this now since it's a video and this will be out here and I can revisit this in a week's time or 2 weeks time actually. But in my mind, I would be surprised that if we don't see any shorts in the next week and a half, that there is a form of manipulation that is coming, but the manipulation is going to basically allow a significant downside or a significant short opportunity to occur where we could be looking at, a few days into, dare I say, a couple of weeks of shorts on the S&P. Not to say that everything isn't improving and not getting better, but I didn't look at who provided the outlook, but I believe, and I can't remember what the metric was in terms of like the actual price point and the data, but there were a couple of larger institutions and funds that were talking about the S&P being down by, I think it was like June, July, or whatever, but a significant pullback or a rally, a pullback before a potential resurgence and rally back long to set, all-time highs before the end of this year. So we'll see. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a student and I don't have the mindset of the overextended. It has to. I'm just looking at what seems probabilistic in terms of how price is moving now. And the fact that when you have a little bit, in my opinion, of a herky-jerky kind of, we're going to advance, there's going to be a significant retracement quick, we're going to then propel back long, we're going to have a minor pullback, and now we're going to consolidate. That just looks to me to say you're looking to trap people going long because that's what the market's been doing. That's what everybody's anticipating. They're looking for this retracement as another buying opportunity. I think all of the signals and everything, the confluences will line up for the long, and that's when somebody's going to pull the Chappelle and be like, "Gotcha, bitch." So that's just what I'm. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, we'll revisit this. Like I said, any comments, questions? I'll keep trying to do better on the streams, the music. There was no music today, so hopefully I didn't bore you too much with my tone or any monotone. So yeah, everybody have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Like I said, we'll likely be back tomorrow. Either with a Lord something. It'll be something.